That's what it shows.
I now call this Village of Hebron Council meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. Stand as you're able and please join me in reciting the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf.
Here.
Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Here.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Yes. Porter.
Yes.
Thank you. We have quorum. Thank you, visitors, for attending this evening. If you've not already done so, please sign in and get a copy of the agenda. There will be opportunities to speak at 2 points in the agenda labeled visitor comments. Minutes will be recorded and provided to council for review. Meeting minutes are official once they are approved by village council by majority vote. Today's minutes will be made available once approved and posted in this office, the post office, and made available online. I'm seeking a motion for approval of minutes for March 19, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Stoner and a second from Councilmember Porter. Any discussion?
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mrs. Stone.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Porter.
Yeah.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes. I'm now seeking a motion to approve the minutes from March 26, 2025. Thank you. I have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Council Member Porter. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Porter.
Yeah.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mrs. Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Council. I'm now seeking a motion for approval of minutes for April 9th, 2025 council meeting.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Porter and a second from Councilmember Stoner. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
Mrs. Stoner.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. It passes. And finally, I'm seeking a motion for approval of minutes from April 16, 2025, combined council committees meeting.
So be it.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Nauer and a second from Councilmember Porter. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Stoner.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Abstain.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
The motion passes. Thank you, Council. The next item on our agenda is department head report. Each department in the village provides routine updates to village council and the public. Tonight, we will receive an update from tax administrator Mindy Kester. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had a great start to the year and our revenues are up just over 23,000 and they were up. I'm sorry. Oh.
You have to hold it till it turns green.
Okay, on that. Okay, so we had a great start to the year. Our revenues are up over 23,000. And, just alone for March, it's, almost 19,000 over last year. We're wrapping up the tax season. It seemed like it felt like it was busy to me, especially late in the season with a lot of people coming in, more residents needing assistance with their, returns. But finishing that up, that's all I have. If there's any questions from council.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
The next item on the agenda is West Lincoln Fire District. We have Chief Trenish, and we also have, is it associate or assistant? Thank you, Assistant Chief Kraus here, and some handouts. If anyone would like to see those. Thank you so much for coming this evening. I know there were some council members who weren't able to make it last week to the open house. And also we're delighted to have you, in case residents are watching as well. So thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to be here on behalf of all the men and women of West Lincoln Fire District to kind of tell you guys a little bit about us. In front of you, we'll start with the white packet first. So I'm gonna talk with the white packet and then Chief Kraus will handle the second packet for you, or the back half of the first and pass out. Apologize, it's not super fancy. We lost one of the founding members of our department today. And we didn't get a chance to really wrap this up. So, but anyway, I think it's gonna be a great start to fill you in, let you know how we work. So we'll start at the top and work our way down. We're just talking about some of the millage that we use to fund the district, and you'll see where it's the cumulative voted tax millage for West Lincoln Joint Fire District. And you see there, the very first one, it talks about 2022 payable collected in tax year 2023. Our voted millage is 11 mills flat. That's the most we could ever collect if they're all replaced in 1 minute. And the year 2023 was down to 8.8 mils. So we fast forward 2 years, so we don't worry about a lot of details. But last year, you'll see again, it's voted 11 mils in the effective. Question?
No, I was just acknowledging that.
That's it. No problem. The effective rate is down to 6.6. All of the numbers that we get, we don't come up with those. That's all through Brad Crawford and the auditor's office. And he's projecting that in 2026, our millage will probably be down about 5.7. That just goes to speak about the growth with the district is growing. Unless that goes in. Just kind of a few notes of interest. So, you know, you have voted millage and you have inside millage. And a lot of times people think that when the county reassesses that all that inside millage, it hits us. It does not. So our millage is set to collect a certain amount. It does grow a little bit with new housing and that kind of thing, but it's not supposed to go over that certain amount. That's what drops your effective rate. So that's how we operate on that. What we have on the ballot May 6th is a replacement levy. Last November, there was a 4 mil additional levy put on the ballot. It was defeated. We listened, we went back and found our oldest 3 mil levy was voted on in 2016. So we are going to replace that one. If you look on the second page, it gives you, there's just a certificate from the auditor's office exactly where we'll go. And I'll go over that a little bit more if you like when we get there. So we'll stay on page 1. A little bit about our district. A lot of people don't realize what we can do, what we do on a daily basis, how big we are, who we service, that kind of deal. So these are just some general notes. Chief Kraus is going to show you a 2024 year in review here at the end, which is your color packet there, which will go into a lot more detail about that. But we're roughly 130 square miles, pretty good size. We go to Fairfield County line to the south, Old 161 to the north, Franklin Lincoln County line, which is like between Taylor Road and like where the limited and stuff is, and of course out this way as well. Last year we had 8,988 calls for service. It would not be shocking if this year at the end of the year we hit 10,000, probably closer to 9,600. You just never know. The area grows. It just every year it surprises us how fast it's growing. Obviously that'll be a first for us hitting 10,000 runs. 9,000 runs in a 24 or in a year period is a lot of runs every day. So we service roughly 65,000 citizens. Obviously, we cover I-70, State Route 40, 310. We have a lot of highway to cover, which creates a lot of auto accidents and hazardous spills and those kind of things as well. We are a mixed bag of what our district is made of, and that's when people come to work with us, that's usually one of the reasons they want to come. You have, of course, the traditional rural area that's out here in Harrison Township. We have manufacturing, we have millions and millions of square feet of big box with everything from Amazon to Google to Meta, just on down the list. As far as we cover, but we have light density housing, medium density housing, high density housing, a little bit of everything, and each station is geared a little bit different to kind of cover the area that they respond to, but all of our men and women have to know how to handle all those runs at any time, because they may get moved for overtime, sickness, whatever it may be. We'll move down a little bit about us. There's 6 firehouses, like I talked about. Each firehouse has at least an ALS engine and a paramedic transport unit, or a medic as we call them. And some of those stations, you get a little bit beefier truck, if you will. Station 3, which is in Etna Township, has our 100-foot aerial platform. And there's only one in the district, but it's there. Station 1 has a heavy rescue, which covers obviously the heavier, more intense rescue, which we'll go about a little bit later. 2 grass trucks. We have some swift water and static, or like Buckeye Lake water boats, 2 reserve fire trucks, 2 rescue medics, some support vehicles, a couple of side-by-sides to assist with the grass and brush fires as well. I brag a lot about our men and women in our district. You have 91 full-time, highly trained firefighters are coming to help you at any given moment. We have a flexible number of part-time time firefighters. They're hard to keep in-house right now. The market is down as far as the availability of employees to pull from, so they are constantly leaving for other full-time jobs. So right now we're running at 13. We have the capacity to go to 39 to help supplement that manning, but right now we're running at 13, and you get your claws in it if you want to keep them as far as that goes. We have over 30 fire and or EMS instructors. So at Station 2 on York and 40, we have our own training facility. When we looked at rebuilding Kirkersville's firehouse, it was actually cheaper to buy that property. And it comes with 11 acres. And if you look as you go back, there's a burn pond back there. We can do live fire evolutions. We have 2 ponds for water rescue. And it saves money in the long run. And our people have done a great job of going in their instructor card. Sometimes they'll go out of state and attend some cutting edge trainings, kind of a train the trainer thing. So we have a great staff with that as well. Rescue technicians, and that's everything from minor car accidents to heavy car accidents, to commercial accidents, what they call under ride, cars under semis, high and low angle rescue, which you need certified rope technicians for that as well. Like I said, swift water, static water, trench rescue, confined space rescue. We have some outstanding people that can do that. We also have quite a few hazmat technicians. I'd say the majority of those are stationed right down there, what you have. But we have them all through the district in case people want to rent. So one of the lieutenant on 2 unit there is kind of high up in the hazmat chain. So he keeps us up to date on everything hazmat in the area, which is very nice. We have 4 fire marshals, fire inspectors, prevention officers. We call them marshals, and they're swamped. We have a plan review gentleman that looks at every plan that comes through this, whether it's housing development or another 1.5 million square foot building, that takes his time. His desk is overflowing. We have a fire investigator who is kind of nationally known. He's at the top of his chain. He's worked his way up and is outstanding in his field. A couple guys that do public education and inspections as well. And they're nonstop. Truth be told, we could probably double that, but it's cost prohibitive. So we can use that there. So support services. I know there was some question about a mechanic or talking about it. We actually have 2 full-time mechanics and a part-time mechanic, and they service our entire fleet. We're big into shared services. We share them with Truro Township, which is Brunswick, Franklin County. They pay half the salaries, we pay half. So we have our own shop, which is again at York and 40, and then the old station downtown Bethesda does the body work. And we can turn our trucks around and literally hours the parts are available. We're able to go and sit sometimes for weeks waiting on a simple part. They're finally coming out of COVID, how that goes, but they're incredible. They start hopefully in top-notch shape. We're actually going to extend the life of our trucks because of these 3 gentlemen. So very good. We have, of course, a fiscal officer, administrative professional. I ran through that pretty quick. Is there anything, questions you may have on the overall? Because the next page we'll talk about the actual levy and show you the exact numbers for the auditor.
To replace the levy that's up in 30 days is great. An existing continuing levy.
Yeah, existing continuing, it was put on in 2000, the last time it was voted was 2016. Page 2, yeah.
And is there an additional levy then?
No, there's not, and I think there was a little bit of confusion. In November, we had an additional 4 mills on the ballot, right, with the fee. So we listened and we see it. So, yeah, so there's all your, that's the actual certificate. Like I said, we don't do any estimating or anything on our own, it just gets us in trouble. So we let the experts put that out there for us. A little confusion, that you guys probably understand, but occasionally people get confused. They're like, what it says here, I gotta pay $105 for each 100,000 county of great value. You're already paying $53. I live in the district, so we're already paying $53.53. The additional is $51.47. The average house in Pataskala, I don't have your guys' data yet, is $9 a month. That cost. So only a 3 mil replacement of a continuing levy. Right. Questions about that one?
How long is your contract with Union Township?
It's got about a year and a half ago.
We're at about, maybe August 2022 is when that was signed. So it was a 5-year contract on this.
So that's something, so I'm newly appointed, Joe's moved into his role, so that's something that's definitely on our radar to look at. So we believe we go back and we start talking about negotiations and looking at pros, cons, whatever, like in February. No more questions?
I'm
sorry.
have a question regarding the number of employees and pieces of apparatus.
Okay.
Is there a standard that fire departments have to reach? Or is this what you can afford? Is it, are you heavy on one area and not another? Are you adequate?
I feel we're pretty well balanced. So we have a couple stations that we call cross man. So there's an engine and a paramedic unit sitting in it. And whichever call comes in first is what you jump on. We have a couple of stations, like I think except for about 1 or 2 days in Hebron, there's a dedicated crew for the engine and medic, same as station 1, station 4. Station 3 floats. They're usually the ones that move their people, but I'd say we're adequate. Obviously, we would like to, the gold standard, if you will, would be that every truck is manned. So that that truck goes out, you still have that medic available, or if that engine goes out, they can take the medic, whatever that may be. It's cost, it's finances, that's why we're not there.
That's not like that.
No. Question?
Thank you.
All right, nothing else, except if you think of something, yell out. We'll turn it over to Chief Kraus, and he's gonna talk about salaries and a couple of things.
Appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk tonight. I'll start out with, if anybody has any questions, I won't go page by page. It's like, this was a PowerPoint presentation that was put together. If you have any questions, in particular about it, if you've been able to review it already a little bit, please, let me know. We can go to stations, 6. And that's the station 406 is the Hebron station. Just so you know. So there's some examples of what their staffing is currently. I'm thinking I don't have it on page numbers, I apologize. Right after station 405. At least it is in order that way. All right, so the staffing has, every day there's staff with 1 officer and 4 firefighter paramedics. They have 1 ALS medic unit runs out of that station, 1 rescue. It has 3 watercraft units available to be deployed, and it has a grass truck and a UTV that is operated out of the station in town here. And so they do have the specialty as a rescue. They're utilized, mainly their specialty is a water rescue and hazmat as a rescue unit, with auto extrication as a standard. So, when Chief Trenish talked about the heavy rescue out of Station 401, they're very focused in high angle technical rescue, confined space, collapse, and so forth. In those, so sometimes trying to have everyone do all the disciplines isn't a benefit, because you're trying to pack so much onto an individual person. So we kind of split those up in the disciplines of the jurisdictions of where the most need would be. But with all the stats, again, we did 8,988 runs. We did provide a district map on the back of the first page, so you can see what the district looks like. With the color coding is essentially that first use district, which would be called The other thing that is unique about how we dispatch our apparatus, we dispatch by GPS. So we have GPS units all within all of our apparatus, and the dispatch center can see our trucks at all times. So, and know when they're available, so whatever, it might not, it might be in Station 6's area, but Station 402 came over to do a store run at Kroger's. And if they're the closest truck to that call, it pulls engine or medic 402 instead of medic 406 or rescue 406. So it always pings the location, and so we do ADL dispatching. And it makes a quicker response because it calculates time and distance for us. And that does that also with all of our mutual aid requests. So all of our mutual aid apparatus are GPS located as well. If they don't have it in their vehicles, we have to ping their station location. And, you know, sometimes if a mutual aid apparatus is closer than one of us, then we'll pull that apparatus too, because we want the closest vehicle to show up to the resident that's in need. So again, there's a little bit more breakdown. We do have a district heat map that kind of gives you a color coordination of where the run volume is. The redder the redder that it is, that's the higher intensity of the call volumes. And that's kind of the gist of this packet. It breaks down each individual station, their call volume, and time of day. When you look at station 406, you can look at the time of day. They did 1,402 runs last year. And, you know, obviously our peak times are between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. And, you know, it breaks down by the medic units and then all the individual trucks that are unlisted. That's how many times those trucks came into Station 6's district to provide assistance. On the next packet, unless does anybody have any questions about that? All right, so the next packet was just to give you a highlight of, you know, some of the costs and things that, you know, what it takes to staff the station. This is just a personnel cost per station. This is the breakdown of, you know, how many personnel are assigned to essentially assigned to those stations. Some of the stations have a couple extra personnel because those are considered our floats. When we have call offs at other stations, they go to those stations to fill in to maintain staffing levels. So that kind of gives you a breakdown of what it would cost, what it costs. And for example, for Station 406, for personnel costs, you know, we have one station captain, 2 lieutenants, and 12 firefighters assigned to this station. You know, and you know, it's a little over $2.3 million a year to staff that station, which ties up off of our EMS in general, about 11%. If it was only off of our property taxes, it'd be about 13% of our budget to staff the station. Also provided a breakdown per entity on what they contribute revenue side all wise and what percentage of the budget that they contribute to. There's also next to that is if the replacement does pass, what the additional revenue would be, and then what their contributions are percentage wise to the budget. And under that that's just a breakdown of what the estimated currently what is being brought in with the 3 mil at the current rate, what it would be if the levy was replaced, and then the difference breakdown. So just anybody have any questions about that breakdown or anything like that? Okay. If you do, please reach out. We'll gladly explain a lot of that or any other for you. Just on the last page, I know that there was some discussion on pay. Yeah, we do pay our firefighters well. We have a lot of expectations out of them, and we expect them to be able to perform, and we expect them to train and be ready for when they're needed. But I know that there was some comparisons given. This is a pay comparison for 2024 provided by the Ohio Fire Chiefs and the IFF. And this was the contracts at that 2024 moment. And I know we were compared against Upper Arlington. In 2024, Upper Arlington had $115,000. Their firefighters make $20,000 more than ours. When you do a comparison of the 2025 contract, our firefighters have not received a pay raise as of this year or of last year's contract. So they're still at that current rate. And Upper Arlington is at $121,695. Also gave a comparison to Violet Township and their firefighters at $112,000. So again, they're about 15,000 more. We do pay our firefighters well because we have to try to compete with our neighbors. We really do. When you're investing anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000 into a firefighter to get them trained, outfitted, gear for them, radio, it's an investment to the community, it's an investment to the department. We want them to work for us for 30 years and we want them to stay. It is important because a 15-year firefighter's knowledge of the district is so important versus constantly having to hire 1-year firefighters. So that's why we do try to pay well. We're nowhere near the top. We're not at the bottom. And we understand that. We try to stay in that top third. For Central Ohio, it's a challenge. And we're behind the 8 ball significantly when we're trying to stay in that top third. But it's the times that we got to deal with, and that's what we're working on. I know it was like, some of the comparison was, the size of the department. We are the largest department in this county. When it comes to serving population and the size of station A personnel. Some of the comparisons with Newark were made. Newark firefighter works 500 hours less than our firefighters a year. So that's why there's a difference in their pay. They get a Kelly day. So every 3 weeks, they get 5 days off. So our firefighters work 2,912 hours on a 56-hour work week. Their firefighters work 48-hour shift. So they work 2,496 hours. 52 hours of that is straight time, and they get 4 hours of overtime for working over 52. And that's per state law. So, and things like that. So hopefully that kind of clears up some of that confusion that was out there. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be able to, I don't have any of the 2025, but I did confirm a couple of them with SERB for their 2025 contracts, because they haven't released the pay comparisons for the next 3 years. Because most of these departments have already renegotiated contracts, and they haven't been filed with SERB yet to see. As like I tried to look at Worthington, but their last contract on the SERB site says 2023. So they're operating with the contract and they just haven't filed, or if they're still negotiating, I'm not sure. So I guess that's mainly what I got, unless anybody has any questions.
I thought on Union Township, we had a 5-year contract, but after 3 years, you can start renegotiating.
Yeah, there is. We do know that there's a clause in there. I know Chief Trent was asking the fiscal officer to pull up the contract at some point just to see when that negotiating time frame starts.
If we could elaborate on that, I already pinged you on this a little bit, and I think maybe council would benefit from understanding this. So I think there's a general perception that if Union Township joined the district and was in at the same millage as members of the district, it would be a tremendous windfall for West Licking. But the numbers you've worked on tell a slightly different story. Are you able to speak to that?
I'm still working on getting the numbers from Brad, because trying to get the estimates, right? Union Township's obviously getting through a unique situation too, because City of Heath is annexing several parts of it. So a lot of the the area that we service, we don't service anymore. City of Heath services it. I mean, because City of Heath has annexed most of Canyon Road and on the other side of Canyon Road. So it's a big chunk. So what used to be fairly easy for Brad to break down tax districts is not anymore, because tax districts are split between multiple municipalities or jurisdictions. At one time, it was fairly close. I don't know for 100% how close it is. I know at the time that was the contract that was negotiated. I know Chief Trent side, not as a disclaimer, but we weren't involved with that process. So and that's a determination that's made by our fire board. So it'd be us speaking out of turn to discuss a decision that is made by our 7-member board.
I was down on, Beaver Run just today and noticed the heath signs that were on Beaver Run and the properties to the south of on Beaver Run. And that would have been, just east of Canyon.
Okay,
And that is just, it looks like it's been plowed. Prepared for spring planting, but I doubt that's gonna happen. It is beautiful, flat, appears to be well-drained area. But I was not aware that heat had come out that far until today. And it's their biggest life.
yeah, it's like they've got hydrants on the south side of the road going down Beaver Run, almost all the way up to Canyon. And they've been there for a handful of years.
Yes,
I know the sign continually keeps creeping a little bit further
Yeah.
to the west. Most of the property that they have annexed is on the north side of Beaver Run. I'm not sure if they've annexed anything on the south side. I believe that's
well,
still,
the sign that I saw was on the south side.
yeah, it is as you're going
So
in there.
the indicator is that it was, and I was watching the south side, didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the
Yeah.
north side, I kind of like staying on the road.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I didn't want to come out. But I don't know that I was alarmed, I was surprised.
Yeah, the city of Heath has definitely chosen to expand, and they're expanding into Union Township. I can't speak on behalf of what kind of annexation agreements that they put in place. But they are moving in that direction, wholeheartedly. I know if you go down Thornwood Drive, the amount of work that's happening for
That is
preparation of what
amazing.
they're anticipating, to the west is,
Yeah, I
They're
check
definitely
the
doing the work.
norm at least twice a week, and it is incredible to see what's happening there.
Yeah.
I don't even know what entity it is.
yeah.
But, because there's nothing telling the public what it is, and I don't know. But it's certainly a massive undertaking.
Yeah, I mean, at some degree, some of this areas, you're just gonna be going in through different jurisdictions and not know which one you're in because they all look similar, right? So. I know that's kind of how our west end of the district is really becoming. You don't know the difference when you're going in from Reynoldsburg to Pataskala, and so forth. So it's just, kind of all becoming one.
So does it look like Heath's gonna put a station in somewhere on Thornville?
Again, I don't know. Is like, hypothetically that I'm assuming that they would want to, but again, I can't speak on behalf of Heath. I know that, they staff 2 stations right now.
Yeah.
And that's their goal. We provide them mutual aid. Mutual aid.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Any questions, just let us know and be happy to help answer them. Thanks.
Thank you. We have this time reserved on the agenda to hear comments from visitors regarding topics not listed on the agenda. Please be sure to state your name and address for the record. There's a 5-minute limit. And we're gonna skip the rest of that. Okay. Legislation. First item is resolution 25-05. It's a resolution certifying delinquent property maintenance bills to the Licking County Auditor for collection. This is the 3rd reading. I'm seeking a motion to adopt.
So move.
I'll second. We have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Council Member Chapman. Any questions, discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mrs. Stoner,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Dewar.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Ms. Porter.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. Passes. The next item is Resolution 2507. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor of the village of Hebron to execute an agreement with the Licking County Health Department to enter into a mosquito control program contract, and this is the 2nd reading.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. The next item is resolution 2508. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund, WPCLF, agreement on behalf of the village of Hebron for planning of an inflow and infiltration study to determine if any stormwater is entering the sanitary sewer system and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading, and I presume, are we seeking also to suspend the reading?
That is correct. And if I may elaborate what this legislation is about. This is the study that we want to do on the inflow and infiltration sanitary system. If you recall, last council meeting, the water reclamation superintendent reported that during the last rainstorm, the sewer plant design capacity 1.5 million gallons per day. We have 2.5 going into the sewer plant during the rain. So we have an extra 1 million water coming in somewhere in the collection system. So we need to find out where that coming in. So we need to do a study to find out whether it's coming from the broken pipe, whether it's jointed, joints is offset, and or in August of last year, we did a smoke test on the residential stormwater, and there was only one. So there are other infiltration coming into the system that we have to identify. This is the reason that we are asking council to authorize the mayor to submit an application. The loan program itself is called forgiveness loan, but for all intent and purpose, it's a grant. So we are seeking council's approval, asking for submitting the application for this forgiveness loan. But we had to submit the application with the legislation, and the deadline is May 1st. In order to be placed on Ohio Water Development Board in June. So there's a 2-month time that we gotta get this ready. We've been talking about this infiltration issue for several years. I don't know if some of you remember, I think it was last year, we did a televising of the sanitary pipes. So there are more that we have to do to understand whether the infill and infiltrations are coming in. So we're asking for council to wait the rereading legislation process and declare an emergency so we can put the application together to submit to get this given this loan. Yes.
If we don't get the forgiveness loan, how much does that cost? I mean, is it something?
The proposal I received from our contract engineer is around 101. The base fee is 120. There are additional fee, like you mapping out on the geographic information, now additional cost. So, well, you add them all up, goes to 180.
180,000.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So it's a big chunk.
Actually, it's free money. I'd rather use someone else's money than our own money. I'm glad to be honest, because if this money is available from the state, let's go get it.
Everything we've been trying to do for years, video and
Yes.
smoking don't seem to be working. So what would they go do the laterals somehow, or is that?
That's one of the things that we gotta do, yes. But I failed to mention, the last study was done in 1999.
Yeah.
So it's been 25 years. The time has changed. The condition, the pipes
Yeah.
may have also further deteriorated, so we need to. That's what I'm asking council to consider.
You have a lot more houses on it too, and the demand has increased in 19 years.
I would make the motion to suspend the reading.
Second.
I have a motion to suspend the readings from council member Carpenter and a second from council member Porter. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman? Yes. Mrs. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes. Now I'm seeking a motion to adopt resolution 2508.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Council Member Porter. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Porter. Yes. Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mr. Noah.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes. The next item is resolution 2509. A resolution authorizing the administrator and chief fiscal officer to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation road salt contracts awarded in 2025 for the purchase of road salt for the village of Hebron and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading. Are we also seeking suspension of?
That is correct.
Yeah, how much salt is left?
Last year, we ordered 65 tons. We,
But there was some left from the prior year too.
no, we borrow more from Lincoln County. So this year, we're asking for 100 ton. Last we ordered 65, but we ran out, so we had to borrow from Lincoln County.
This year was an exception though. But
I understand. So right now, we're,
When you say we borrowed, do we still need to give some back?
unfortunately, we didn't use it up, so we returned.
Oh.
Yes, so
okay.
we're okay. We are okay. Yeah. Because there was I think, if I remember correctly, there was a snowstorm coming, but it did not materialize.
So this is get a declared emergency so we can get our order ran early.
That is correct. Somehow we always get this notice from ODOT a week ahead of the deadline. The deadline for this is the May 1st or May 2nd. Yeah,
But then if we don't need it next year, we can always reduce our.
that is correct. Yeah, it really said we are asking to place 100 tons available for us.
So I'm seeking a motion to suspend the readings.
So moved.
Second, I have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Council Member Stoner. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes. Thank you. It passes. And now I'm seeking a motion to adopt resolution 2509.
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Council Member Stoner and a second from Council Member Carpenter. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Noah.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
Mrs. Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Chapman. Yes. Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes. Next item is miscellaneous roadway and waterline improvements project bid award.
Yes, we had a bid opening last week, and then I think the bid pack is a part of your packet. So we're asking the council to direct solicitor to draft the legislation for consideration at our next meeting. And I'm going to ask in advance that when you consider this legislation, I will ask for the emergency as well. Because we need to get this project moving forward. The other part, I mentioned to you at the last joint meeting is that we're still waiting for the culvert replacement. We're hoping that these two can happen around the same time.
That way we don't have to tear up the road twice
Do it again, yeah.
and hopefully save a little bit on asphalt. Okay. So we're taking a motion to
That is
draft
correct. The draft legislation.
legislation.
So be it.
So,
Would you like to second? Yes, okay. So I have a motion from Councilmember Nauer and a second from Councilmember Porter. Any discussion?
Stoner.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. Noah.
Yes.
Thank you, council. It passes. The next item is the administrator's report.
I think I have talked enough. I'm just gonna give a very quick updates. But as I mentioned, the Sugar and the Broadway Culver, has been rebid and the bid opening is scheduled on May 6th. We are continuing to fill the vacancy at the Public Works. Unfortunately, that we did not, we're not able to find a right person to fill the assistant superintendent position. So we are going to re-advertise that position again. Lastly is that we have met with LCATS yesterday to talk about the street classification. I think that's it.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't we, instead of trying to find somebody to take that job, can't we hire another person and then maybe not this year, next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, let's move somebody up? At least we'll have workers to.
Yes, that is the plan. Yes, we would like to see our crew get mature, and then we can promote them down the road. Absolutely. Yeah.
Instead of, what I'm saying is, instead of hiring somebody second in command.
Yeah.
Just hire somebody to work and then we could move them up as we go.
Unfortunately, right now, we were down, we were down to two staff. Yes.
Right.
Superintendent and the laborer just got promoted into the equipment operator one. So it may take time to the new equipment operator one to get to the point that can readily available to get promoted. But I don't know, he may be willing to try to apply for the job.
I'm not even saying it's him, maybe somebody we hire just to be workers.
Mhm.
Maybe one of them might be, come along and say,
Yes.
hey, I'd like to move up and
Yes.
he's available and he is good enough
Sure.
to do the job.
Yeah.
So who is in command, unquote, when the superintendent is off for whatever reason?
That would be me.
Like I said, who is in command?
It would be me, yes.
I know.
Yes. Because when CJ was off a couple of days, and I basically can't call the laborer to see what he has been doing, anything I need to direct them to do something different, yes.
How are your equipment operating skills?
I can run the zero turn, no problem whatsoever, but I don't think I can get into the skid steers or the backhoe. I'm not there yet.
That's his next training ground.
That is correct. So slowly the position is getting filled, that's for sure, yes. Because the most important thing we want to make sure is the individuals that we hire that can gel with everybody. Because this is a team and everybody needs to chip in, everybody needs to work together. And that was the really the characters that we're looking for, the individuals to be part of this team.
The guys you got working now, they're
Yes.
a group.
Absolutely.
The guys from the water and the sewer that helped out during the tipper, they worked as a group.
That is correct. And that's why I was very appreciative that we have Davin and also Cody helping out the chipper day. It might be a little bit difficult, but Davin, maybe not done this before, so. But definitely they put their 110% into helping that, no question. And what the Tom Coleman and Jason Figgins, they made a commitment to help the public works during the crunch time.
Instead of chipper day, maybe it's chip in day.
That's a good term.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go counterclockwise tonight. We're gonna start with you, Councilmember Carpenter.
I have nothing.
You didn't see it coming, did you?
Very good.
Councilmember Stoner.
I went to the open house for fire the other night and it was really good. And I'm glad they came to talk about what's going on, because the residents need to know that, you know, if you call them, they're gonna come and they need that money in order to do it. So I appreciate that. That's all I have.
I have been asked to ask counsel for the officer who assisted in the saving of the lives. That family would like to do a public acknowledgement. So I pass that to you.
Okay, we'll coordinate that because I think we'll have a unique opportunity to do that next week if they're interested. Okay, great, thank you.
I don't know whether you was gonna bring it up. We went to the ribbon cutting for the tornado shelter at Fairfield Beach. That's pretty neat. It's a neat place, just like a big igloo. But, it's something to think about for what we had talked about, something to think about around here for all the 500 homes with no basements that's going to be put in, so.
Do we have those statistics? Do you know if we could find out what the number or percentage?
you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could.
yeah. The design of that would support or shelter 750 humans during, what was it rated for?
F5 for 200-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
It has its own generator, the restrooms and all that. But on that, it's not just a tornado shelter, it could be used as a community center also, and it also. 250, I think it was, people could be in their capacity just for a. Normal business or whatever. But it was pretty neat, I mean, it wasn't extravagant or anything, it was a. Shelter. But,
Was there parking for everybody to get to it? That's a lot of vehicles. Like
It was
parking?
adjacent to a park. So there
So
was
they have-
perimeter parking around the entire park, and then there was some additional closer to the building, but it's embedded within a neighborhood too.
Again, if you've been to Fairfield Beach, it's another one of them, golf cart communities, so there'd be plenty of parking, yeah. My understanding, I thought I'd heard there's like 1,500 people live right in that area. So it's better than half of the people can be put into that tornado shelter at any given time.
Thank you for going to that. It was good. Certainly gave ideas. They started that project in 2019.
Yeah. We got hung
And
up.
then when COVID happened, everything was disrupted and paused, and then they were finally able to resurrect it and secure the funding. The cost of it was, they don't have final yet,
Right.
but it sounded like it was around 1.4, 1.3. And 75% came from federal funds, 12.5% came from county funds, and 12.5% came from township funds.
Yeah, it's like 1.6 and,
Oh, is it?
yeah, and only like 200,000 came out of the local funds, everything else was state and federal.
What entity controls it? Who's gonna maintain it? Who's gonna, do the?
Fairfield County.
Township. I thought it was township owned it.
Well, is it township?
I thought it was-
One town, so it's. Yeah, it says one of town and Fairfield County on there, but
So is it open to anyone?
I assume, because they said something about the homeowners association was having meetings in there and,
I know, I learned this morning that somebody had asked if they could do a community yard sale in there. And the response was no, because if this were filled with all of your stuff and there's
Yeah.
a tornado, then we'd have a problem. So I think they're still trying to get their arms around what they can and can't support in that space.
but I asked the question to the Fairfield County executive and he said it, was, could have public meetings in there. So, I mean, because of the funding, there's no law saying that they couldn't have the public meetings in there. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Howard?
The only thing I had is, I wanted to ask about the fire victims, the house up there, how they're doing, if the community's doing anything for them, their status, if there's. Anybody knows anything, what's going on?
Do you want to share what you shared in executive leadership today?
I know that they have a meal train set up, that you can sign up and take a meal to the family. That's all.
So they have someplace to stay and they're not in the house, are they? Are they?
I can share with you, they are living in their camper behind the existing structure.
Oh, okay.
The insurance has totaled the house completely out. They lost a vehicle, some animals. The family's doing quite well. The community has reached out. Red Cross came in, Lions Club came in. Even their local doctors have made donations to replace prescription eyeglasses, things of that nature. Glenn and Bernie are doing quite well right now.
I hadn't seen anything on Facebook or anything. So it's kind of-
Yeah.
Mayor, got the call. Yeah, thanks.
Be safe.
That was my only questions.
Councilmember.
I have nothing, thank you.
One more thing. I was talking to Chief Crouch there. They have a station like Columbian Refugee. It's an old golf course that they converted the building over into a fire station. They actually like that better than the new one in Reynoldsburg. But they're gonna have an open house on May the 24th. If anybody want to go to that, so.
Thank you. The next item. I think we've completed the interviews for the engineering firm selection. We just have some additional housekeeping items to go through to make the final selection. Thank you to everyone who went to the fire district open house. I do hope you have voting on your mind, and when you run into our neighbors throughout the village, you mentioned, don't forget to vote. Also, the county is doing something called plan to plan. So Intel dropped a bomb, right? And then, we're all trying to figure out what we're doing. So a response to that was a framework, which was trying to bring voices together that are most impacted within the radius of travel. And that process was a couple of years. And now that exercise is over, there's a sense of what probably ought to happen, but there's not really any teeth behind it to make it happen. And so the commissioners have decided to move forward with a more formalized planning process within the county. And so right now, Hebron is one of the village voices on that, in that work group to plan out what work will be formally completed by and with the county with regard to planning. One of the things that I noticed yesterday, we have the two of our largest cities, Newark and Heath, don't have a comp plan. And then we've got, I think, 4 townships which don't have zoning. So we've got wide disparities between where different jurisdictions are in planning out and making decisions. So it's probably going to be a pretty heavy lift for the commissioners to, get any type of consensus on how to move forward. So as you're thinking about that, if you see commissioners, please encourage them that this is really important work and we actually just need to do it. And that, Hebron will work with them and through them to make this planning effort worthwhile. Because if we don't work together, we're just gonna have more of what we have right now, which is a bunch of silos and stepping on our toes and not really making informed decisions because we're not thinking about what's happening throughout our region. So I'll be participating in at least 3 more of those sessions over the coming months. And so if you have ideas, concerns, suggestions, please let me know. So I can keep those in mind as we're doing that work. Also, we had, I thought, a really good public service stakeholders meeting. Do you want to talk about it or? Yep, thanks. Apologize for how casual I am today. My youngest had her tonsils removed, but she's doing good, so I was able to attend. But we, as you know, we have been hosting the stakeholder meetings once a month. And in those meetings, it's been a variety of different stakeholders invited, but this particular one that we did for April, we called public service. And we invited, of course, the police department, the fire department, but also the school district and any neighboring jurisdictions. So that included Union Township, Licking Township, and Village of Buckeye Lake. Unfortunately, a few of them were not able to attend, but we had fire, we had PD, and we had Union Township. Lakewood very much wanted to be there, but they had other obligations that came up that were definitely more necessary than being at this meeting. So they do plan on engaging with this in the future if we continue this model. But the opportunity was really for each jurisdiction to provide an update about what's going on in their areas, what things are they focused on, what things are they concerned about, how can we all collaborate with one another better. And then one important topic that came up that's more specific is the levy piece. For instance, fire going out for a levy at the same time police department was, and a lot of times school districts are having to do that work as well. How can we be better at coordinating those efforts? And so I think it was overall very well received, very positive dialogue. We did end that saying that we would want to do this maybe twice a year and then rotate the different locations. The intention wasn't for Hebron to necessarily lead these efforts. It was to just kick them off and then hopefully share in the responsibility to keep one another updated. And hopefully, when we're able to follow up with those neighboring jurisdictions, we can tell them that couldn't be there. We can tell them how productive the meeting was, and they'll be able to engage with us in the future. Anything you would add? Okay. Then the last item is we had a meeting with LCATS.
Yes.
Can you speak a little bit about that work?
The purpose of the meeting is for LCATS to talk to the village about the different roadway classifications. For the funding purpose. Certain roadway classified as major collector can be receiving the federal funding. So we're trying to decide what roadway that we can push the classification so we can get funding from the state and federal. So that's a conversation we had meeting with the LCATS. And also they share with us the project they've been working on. One is the Safe Streets for All. They're trying to come up with different type of the initiatives to address the roadway safety issues. So those will be coming out. Am I missing? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's 40 Main Street. Is it federal or state? No.
That's correct. I think it's the.
It's a federal road that the state pays for.
Yes, because of course, state received the federal job, I think it's classified as minor arterial, yes. And same thing with the part of 79 North, that's the conversation we're going to continue to have with LCATS, from North High Street, from Main Street. I think we're concerned the classification of that, because if that becomes the major collector, which in essence invites different kind of traffic to come in, same like those kind of things. So we're going to have an ongoing conversation with them, how to reclassify that so we can lessen the semi traffic coming into downtown village. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna skip over visitor comments again, and unless otherwise noted, it's understood council members have reviewed the expense report provided and have no questions. Just want to draw your attention to the meeting and events schedule, and One item that's particularly of note is that on May 12th, we've moved the planning and zoning meeting 1 week later to make sure that we have quorum. And those are the only modifications, right? Thank you. And unless there's anything else, I'm seeking a motion to adjourn.
What's the date on that planning?
May 12th. I meant to get email out to everybody today, but it'll be out tomorrow, May 12th. We're gonna move it to ensure that we
So
have
it's 1 week later, right?
Yes. One
It's
second.
still Monday, it's a week later.
Correct. And then a week from today, it's 3025 day is a very,
I don't even know how I forgot that. My entire life is revolving around a week from tonight. I hope everyone is planning to attend. And as you already heard, we're planning on recognizing some folks and it should be a really good, positive evening. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm seeking a motion to adjourn. Second, a motion from Council Member Porter and a second from Council Member Stoner. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Stoner.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Bauer.
Yes.
Chapman. Yes. Ms. Porter.
This meeting of the Village of Hebron Council is now adjourned at 7:04 p.m. 7:04 p.m.